Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of auld lang syne?
I messed up on the harmonies there.
Who cares? Because we got the words right. I know that we had sang that song previously in the middle of a podcast and didn't know the words, so we did everybody a justice and learned the words because this is American Brews and Tunes.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-dow!
We're back.
We're back. Holy crap.
Holy crap is right. We're back. My name is Steven Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And you're listening to episode number 65 of American Brews and Tunes.
Is that the age where seniors get discounts?
I'm not
Or
really
is it
sure.
55?
I think it might be 55. I don't really know.
I think so, because I think my dad gets a senior discount now.
Yeah. You know the AARP?
Yeah.
I got a letter in the mail to join AARP once.
Really?
I don't know how. They're like, come join
They're like, hey.
the good old ARP.
Good old ARP.
I was like, I'll wait.
I'll wait till I'm of age.
Not yet, sirs. Or madams, I don't know.
I'm not to that point in my life yet.
I wasn't, so I declined. It was a generous offer, but I declined.
What was it for, like, life insurance or something?
Just to join them. I don't really know what it was for.
What
Life
is
insurance?
AARP? Is it an
There's
insurance
life insurance.
company?
I think they've got health insurance, maybe car insurance.
Benefits for old people?
Benefits for old
Pretty
people.
much.
Discounts and stuff. I would like my AARP discount at the Taco Bell.
At the Taco Bell? No, probably at like a local diner. Like there's this diner in Newport, Minnesota called the North Pole. And whenever I would go there, it would always be at least like half the customers would be old people
I think
in the morning.
it's probably for Taco. They just go to places early though.
Yeah.
I think Taco Bell probably accepts them. They're probably like, yes, I'd like my low sodium bean and cheese burrito. Try to keep the cholesterol down. AARP.
AARP. It could be an ad for AARP right
Yeah,
there.
that's a terrible ad.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is episode number 65. Last
Yeah.
week was a one-off. We reviewed Frank Turner's most recent album, Be More Kind.
What a great album.
It is a great album. And we had the Goose Island Bourbon County brand
Orange Midnight.
Midnight
chocolate?
Orange.
Midnight Orange.
Midnight Orange Stout. That's what it was. But this week, we're back to our regular format episodes where Jesse had recommended an album for me, and I have recommended an album for him.
Woohoo.
For the past 2 weeks or so, however long we want to measure,
Yeah.
I have been listening to Trouble Will Find Me by the band The National.
Yeah. And I've been listening to Louder Now by the band Taking Back Sunday.
Two very different but very American bands.
Very different bands.
Yeah. The albums aren't that far off. Well, I guess they fell within 10 years of each other, around, give or take.
Yeah. That one came out in 2013,
Yeah, was
and Taking Back Sunday was like 2006.
6? I don't know. So it was
like
mid
that.
2000s.
I think it was 2006.
Yeah. But anyways, they're very different. But
Quite different.
I'm excited to see where we go with this.
Yeah.
And like all regularly formatted episodes, we have different beers. What are you
Heck
trying
yeah,
this
we
week,
do.
Jesse?
I'm going to give this beer from Blackberry Farm Brewery a try.
Blackberry Farm Brewery.
It's called Boundary Tree Hoppy Belgian Style Ale. So I'm looking forward to some nice citrusy notes. Mm-hmm. This says a soft bitterness reminiscent of orange marmalade. If you've ever had orange marmalade, that normally means it has like a little orange rind in it, right? Isn't that like fruit marmalade is?
Marmalades usually have little chunks of rind.
Chunks
in
of
them,
rind in it. So I don't really like marmalade that much. I think it's too bitter. So hopefully it's not bitter like that. But it says a soft bitterness reminiscent of orange marmalade balances delicate spice notes that result from a warm fermentation. It's clocking in at 6.5%, and it does not give me the IBUs. But maybe Untapped will.
Untapped is more likely to give them to you.
It doesn't. Wait.
But that's a local Tennessee brewery, Blackberry Farms.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Maryville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. So we're both drinking local today. Ooh. While you had that, today I'm having a Nashville brew from Tailgate Brewery.
Nice.
We've had stuff from their brewery before. I was gonna say from their podcast.
From their podcast.
You know what I meant. I think we both have tried some of their.
Yeah.
At least I have. I don't know about you.
What, you mean just in general or on the podcast?
On the podcast.
I don't know if I ever have on the podcast, but I have I have. The grapefruit one.
Yes.
Grapefruit IPA.
We had that when we were
That
reviewing
one was a long time ago.
those EPs.
Yes.
Or little cans and little albums.
Cans. Even though right now I also have a little can. I don't have a big bomber. It's just a normal
okay.
size 12-ounce can.
It can be a bomber to everyone out in the world. They can't see.
Yeah, I lied.
But
This isn't a bomber.
We're honest on this podcast. I'm all about honesty. You can call me Honest Steve if you want. Anyways, I'm having a hazy IPA from Tailgate Brewery, and it's called Bat Building.
If you live in Nashville, you know what building they're referring to.
Yeah, for everyone who's not from Nashville or who hasn't been to Nashville or knows nothing about Nashville, it's a big skyscraper downtown, the AT&T building, but it's got 2 points, and it kind of looks like Batman's head.
Yeah, I guess it does, yeah, but I always think about the Eye of Sauron.
The Eye of Sauron, which it very well could be as well.
But I get why they say the Bat Building now.
Yeah. It's not super duper fresh. It looks like it was released at the end of November, so it's a couple months old, which it's not as old as I was thinking it was, but it's not brand spanking new fresh. So I don't think it's going to taste as bright as it could, but it's not old.
We'll see.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
only
curious
one way
about
to
it.
find out.
Yeah, I don't know the IBUs, but I do know that it clocks in at 6.9%.
Oh.
So it's ever so slightly higher grav than
the one I'm trying.
than what's legally considered higher grav at some point in time.
Oh, right, yeah. What was it? It was 6.6% or something.
6.1 was what they initially called higher grav in Tennessee, but they
So
switched
weird.
it to 10.1, I think.
Yeah.
I just cracked my brew without announcing it. Sorry.
So did I.
But normally I'm like, shall we crack our brews? I took
Don't
a
wanna-
I took a liberty and just called one and went for it.
Oh, this is a nice color. It's like I don't know, kind of like a golden bronze.
Now, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, I forgot to pay attention when you were saying what style of beer yours was.
Yeah.
What
you
style
guess?
is it again?
Can you guess?
I think I heard Belgian, but that's all I heard.
Can you guess?
Based on the color, it's pretty amber colored.
Yep.
Quite
bubbly,
It's clear
too.
and bubbly. Is it a Saison?
No. It's just a hoppy Belgian style.
Just a hoppy Belgian. So
Yeah.
hoppy Belgian. That could be a Belgian IPA
Definitely
maybe,
smells
or just a
like-
Belgian style ale
Definitely
with
smells
hops.
like a Belgian style beer.
Mine looks a little lighter than yours, but not too far off. And
Didn't you say it was a hazy one?
that's what it says on the can, but it doesn't look very hazy. It's pretty
pretty clear.
see-through, yeah. So maybe it was mislabeled by the brewery. Maybe they just
Could be.
maybe they screwed my can up. Who knows?
just your can, that
Yeah,
one can that you
It's
bought.
possible.
I guess it is, yeah, sure.
Now, I'm looking at some pictures that people have checked in of this beer on Untapped
Yeah.
from the brewery, and other people's pictures look a little hazier than what I have.
Looks similar. It could just be the camera or something.
It could be, or even if you look at the
That one looks a lot hazier.
So mine's a light amber, like a dark straw colored. Like I said, not hazy, but it's got a pretty good head on it. Both of ours do,
both
and
of ours do.
they're kind of sticking around
Mine is not going
with
away
a bunch
either.
of different sized bubbles, which I hear is a good thing if you have like all
yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of different sized bubbles.
Mine's got a bunch of little pockets.
Yeah,
It looks like someone dribbled like marbles in there.
or marmalade.
Or marmalade.
What do you say we give these a cheers and give them a try?
Let's do that.
As we always say on American Brews and Tunes, shippity-beep-boop-doo! Down the hatch. This is actually quite delicious. It's
Nice.
you know how when you walk into Bearded Iris Brewery, you get that smell of Bearded Iris beer? Mm-hmm. It kind of tastes like that a little bit.
Really?
Not hazy like their beer is, but it tastes kind of fresh, and it's got a real clean, fruity, crisp hop.
Huh.
This is nice.
Interesting.
Give it a taste and see if you would agree
Okay.
with me. It might not necessarily be 100% onto that, but that was my very first taste. Almost kind of reminisced me of that.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
You're not lying.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. It smells like
It tastes like a hop smells.
yes,
Pretty
It's-
much.
It's good. I'm pleasantly surprised by this.
That's kind of weird, right?
yes.
Like thinking about the smell, but like the smell and the taste both connect. Like it
Not always the case, but
it's strange to think about that.
it is. I mean,
they
they are
were-
very related, smells and taste, of course.
That's true. So they were not lying about this kind of having a marmalade-like bitterness. because that actually does ring true to what the type of bitterness that they have achieved with this beer.
How would you say, how marmalade-y is it? Is it?
It's just that bitterness of a marmalade. If you've had a marmalade before and you get a little say you had an orange marmalade and you get just a little bit of orange rind in a bite.
Yeah.
That's what the bitterness tastes like. It's interesting. Not sure if it's my favorite, but it's definitely interesting.
Would you have it again? A more important question.
Yes. I got a 6-pack of it.
So you'll have to. Unfortunately, I only got a single of mine. I just thought the can was cool and it made me laugh. I would get this again, actually. I think it's a really delicious, crisp, clean, tasty hop.
Yeah.
On that flavor profile.
Same here.
Easy drinking. I would avidly seek this out. Let me see what I think of yours.
Do it up.
I do. These bubbles are really, really tiny.
They're going. It's a bubbling and a brewing.
Definitely Belgian.
Yeah. You see what I mean about the rindiness of that bitterness?
A little bit, but it's not too over the top.
No.
It's just very subtle, that bitterness.
I think it's balanced fairly well.
I think so too. It's very nice.
It was true to what they said in the can.
I'd be happy drinking that. Oh, the bitterness kind of comes back in the aftertaste.
Yeah.
That's where that
bitter,
and it tastes like a rind.
Rind bitterness comes from.
Not bad.
I
think they're both pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
I'm
not always the
with both
case.
these beers.
But yeah, these are both good. I would have them both again.
That is a tasty beverage.
Now, as always, if these flavor profiles change to us as they warm up, we'll let you know. Otherwise, let's dive into some tunes, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's hit that diving board and dive right in.
Why don't we just jump right into the pool of sound waves?
Hold up. This is a 3 feet pool. There is no diving.
All right.
Dip our toes
wade
in
into
and
it.
Wade, yes. Let's wade in gently.
Before we do that, the liquor store that I went to today to buy this beer, it was a new one in Lebanon whenever I was coming back from work. And the guy who was behind the counter had a southern accent, like how, if you do a southern accent but just don't really open your mouth very wide.
I don't know.
That's how he talked, yeah. He was like, hey, how's it going, man? I was like, oh, I'm doing well, sir.
You got to answer him with the same accent so
Yeah.
he understands. I'm doing pretty good, sir.
that just popped in my head, though. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, goodness gracious
Oh,
me.
southern accents. Anyway, I'm going to start it off this week with the album Louder Now by Taking Back Sunday. This album, I believe it came out in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And is it emo? Is that the correct word to describe it?
Yes, this would fit into that 2000s emo.
It doesn't seem as emo as other stuff that I've heard, though.
If you would check out their first 2 albums, you might say it lines up with that. The 3 big emo bands that I would say that came out of the New York area or whatever. I think Taking Back Sunday came from there, but it was them. The Movie Life, that was Vinnie Caruana's first band.
Mm-hmm.
They were a big one. Or Brand New. And all controversies aside,
yeah.
Brand New would be my favorite. I have a lot of problems with them now.
Yeah, same here. Still do.
But I think
their music is good, though.
Yeah, I think they're the best one out of there. But that's getting into that is for another podcast.
Yep.
We'll stick with Taking Back Sunday.
Yes.
Have you listened to them ever before?
I have not. I did not recognize any songs in this album as I listened to it.
I wasn't sure that you would have. I was kind of curious about that.
2006 was, I think I was in 8th grade then, because that's 4 years before I graduated high school, so I'd be in 8th grade. And I was never really into the emo or the, that type of scene.
Yeah, I get you. I kind of wasn't either. I'm not as huge a fan of their first 2 albums. There are songs I like off of them, like some of their big ones, but I really wasn't a big Taking Back Sunday fan until this album came out. This was when this came out was when I would watch VH1, MTV, and Fuse, all those TV stations that played their music videos. And I remember when there was the video was for Make Damn Sure and for Liar, 2 of their singles from this album. I was like, ooh, this is actually pretty good. Maybe Taking Back Sunday is a good band.
Yeah.
And that kind of got me started with them. But I think they got better with each album that they released. And I was telling Jesse this earlier. But they had an album come out like 2 years ago, maybe year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I think it's their best work yet, and it's way better than Louder Now. But I think Louder Now is they're like the epitome of their classic sound, what people would think of when they think of Taking Back Sunday.
Okay,
so
interesting.
that's why I wanted to recommend that one for you.
And just a quick beer update.
Yeah.
Steve poured the rest of his beer into his glass, and now the sediment and haziness has come through.
Yeah, I think the settlement had settled.
Yeah,
into the bottom of the can, it's really hazy now.
And now it's hazy.
It's what I would expect.
It's definitely not like the creaminess of a bearded iris, like that. Not that haziness.
Yeah, but I can no longer see through the glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beer update over.
Yeah, we're getting into some murky waters here, ladies and gentlemen. Some murky beer flavored waters. Hop dog.
Hop dog. What if they made that instead of a hot dog, it was a hop dog?
That would be weird.
And it's just like this big. In the shape of a hot dog, but hops.
It's weird. It tastes bitter and disgusting.
Yeah. And you...
Whoa. That was a terrible Scooby-Doo. Let me try and redeem myself. That was a little better, but not...
A little bit better.
Not great.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's delve into Louder Now.
I feel like if I was into this type of music back then...
Mm-hmm.
I would have definitely liked this album a lot and would have continued listening to it after it, in years past my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
But since I didn't, this is brand new to me. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
So overall, I'll just give a few of my general thoughts about their sound and if I like it or not. I like it, but there are a few things that I'm not too fond of, or I guess the classic trope of an emo band of that time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of repetition of lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So the main guy will sing it. I don't know what his name is.
Adam Lazaro?
Yeah, the main guy will sing it, and then another guy will echo it.
Yeah.
And that is the consistency of a lot of their songs. Basically every single one has that type of call and response.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the biggest fan of that, but it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, it's just not your favorite aesthetic to the music.
Yeah. But anyway, I think the guitar tone on this album is really dope.
Mm-hmm.
It's all really chunky and really thick and really defined, I guess.
They dialed it in well.
It's really sharp.
And you hear it from that very first guitar part on the first song.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, these guys aren't just using a standard distortion or whatever.
They've really dialed it in. It's a really, really thick sound they get, and I like that.
And they had there was a guitar player, I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Fred. I think he was only with them for this album.
Oh, really?
But he was a killer guitar player, and then he started his own band called The Color Fred, and I was like,
The Color Fred?
The Color Fred, instead of The Color Red.
Oh.
Color Fred, and I was like, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, I was like, he was better with the other band. But, you do you, Fred. You do you.
Yeah. But anyway, the first track number 1, is called What's It Feel Like to Be a Ghost? I was looking kind of for the meaning of this song, and I guess it's about getting sick on taking too much drugs or something like that, is what some places said.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, whenever someone's sick on drugs, they turn white like a ghost, apparently.
Could be.
And so I don't know if that's what the song is about, but that's what some things have said.
Yeah.
But basically the whole, the thing that they return to in the chorus is, so what's it feel like to be a ghost?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if that could mean the drug thing, or it could mean, what's it feel like to be detached from reality, or whatever. And this is one of the few songs on this album that is not about a relationship.
Yeah, most emo songs tend to be about relationships or feelings in general.
Yeah.
Usually negative.
Yep.
Sometimes ironically violent lyrics. Maybe not so much in this album.
Not in this album, but I know what you mean, though.
But yeah, if you listen to some of the other kind of early 2000s emo bands, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There was one band, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Taking Back Sunday, I don't remember. But there was one line where it's saying, if you slit my throat, my dying words will still be "I love you" as I bleed, or something. As I bleed, or I'll say I'm sorry for bleeding all over you. It's something
you just
something
get
stupid.
This really weird, nonsensical, graphic for no reason,
gratuitous for no reason. Yeah. But that always was kind of a turnoff for me in the music.
Same.
Even though I liked the melodies and the guitar tones and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, maybe that was the reason why I like never listened to it, because like I heard some band that was like I heard their lyrics and I was like, why are you singing about that?
Could be.
It's
Could
so
very
weird.
well be.
Anyway, that was not one of my recommendations, so I'll move on to track number 2, which is called Liar, and in parentheses, it takes one to know one.
This might be one of my favorites from the album.
The song, yeah, it's very, very catchy. It's really, really good. And it is a song about a relationship and about how each person in the relationship is a liar, basically. Because,
one to know one.
Yeah, it takes one to know one. But the chorus is just insanely catchy. Liar, liar.
If we're keeping score,
Yeah.
we're all quiet boys at best. And against.
Yeah.
And
then-
those guitar dyads at the beginning, delicious.
Yep.
Like the beer.
You just eat them right up or drink them down. Chug them.
Yeah, but that's
But
cool
anyway.
guitar parts.
Yeah. And the song ends with them like screaming liar back at each other.
Liar, liar. He's got a high. I don't know if I would say nasally, but
No, it's not nasally.
it's a weird
It's just a
tone.
really high voice. But
and he does when I think of his voice, the song that maybe exemplifies it best is the next song.
yeah, which is my first recommendation.
Okay, good choice.
It's called Make Damn Sure with no spaces for some reason.
Yeah, I don't really know why that, but the way he does his voice is kind of like. Are you gonna explain it?
No.
It's kind of like. We've got this new head filled up with smoke, and I got.
Oh, yeah,
when
it
it
is.
sounds like he's not opening his teeth,
It's almost like he's like gritting through the lyrics
Yeah.
like he's
and he does that a lot when he's
Yeah.
singing in his lower register.
yeah. It's a super catchy chorus, and it's a song about a relationship or one that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
It's about him having essentially like a crush on a girl and wanting to make damn sure that she doesn't get too far away from him, basically.
I'm gonna make damn sure
The
that
chorus
you
is so
won't
catchy.
ever leave me. No, you won't ever get too far from me. It's such a
Yeah.
high voice.
It's so crazy. Oh yeah, yeah, that part is insane.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like that's kind of like the trope of the whole album is that like the verses are a little bit lower and then the choruses he brings out that really high register, which sounds good.
I wonder what louder now means. That was from the first track, right?
Yeah, they echo louder now.
Louder now, louder now. Sorry to go back to that song. But
That's okay. I mean, that's what the album is called.
yeah, I know.
So it's a worthy question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
good song.
Maybe just sing whatever you're singing louder, dude.
Sing it loud, sing it proud.
Do whatever you're doing louder.
You do you.
Turn it to 11.
It goes to 11.
Yeah, but why not just go to 10?
This
Does it
this
goes
guitar
to
goes to
11.
11. This amp goes to 11. But why not make 10 louder?
Because it goes
This has
to
11.
It's such a good movie.
It is a great movie. That's Spinal Tap for everyone who's never seen it. What are
Yeah.
you doing with your life?
Oh, that was a recommendation. Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
said that already.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Track number 4 is called Up Against, in parentheses, Blackout. The song is also about a relationship and facing troubles. Like the whole line in the chorus is, so this is what we're up against.
Da-da-da-da. So this is what we're up against.
Yeah. That's the whole basic idea of it.
Yeah.
Same type of guitar, same type of drums and whatnot. It's catchy.
Yeah, it's a very catchy song.
Track number 5 is where we get into a different type of relationship. It's called My Blue Heaven. And it's a song about being in a relationship, an adulterous relationship.
Ooh.
Adultery.
Ooh.
And I guess like the whole idea behind this song is like he knows that it's wrong, but he like keeps coming back to it and like wants to keep doing it. Something like that. So I guess dealing with
the temptations.
the
and
temptations of that type of relationship, I
Yeah,
guess.
I can see that.
Not my favorite song, but it's still pretty good though. On to track number 6. That's called 2020 Surgery. This is a recommendation.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I very much like this song. I'm not exactly sure what it's about.
Yeah.
I think it might be about having 2020 vision on a certain subject.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in the context of a relationship, I assume, based on the context of all the other songs.
Yeah, it could be that.
But I really like the chorus because it almost reminds me like of an Alkaline Trio chorus.
Okay.
Like the way he sings in that song kind of reminds me of Matt Skiba's voice a little bit.
I can see that.
The 2020 surgery.
I can definitely see that.
So in that song I wasn't really sure what it was about. So I based my recommendation on the fact that I like that it's catchy.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. The next song, however, I know what it's about.
What is it?
Track number 7 is called Spin. And it's a song about some reviewers from a magazine called Spin.
Yep.
And
magazine.
how they gave really bad reviews of their last album and like this whole controversy with someone else in their band leaving or something like that.
By John Nolan. I think he was one of their founding members, who is now back. I could be misquoting who it actually was that left.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up right now because I'm curious. But John Nolan was one of the
founding members.
And I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a good fast song.
Yeah, it's a very good fast song. But so basically, the song, I think like some of the lyrics are like, "You've lost your chance now" or something like that.
Lost your chance.
Yeah. So like talking to the reviewers directly, basically saying like, "Oh, too bad you like gave us bad reviews then, because now we're rocking it, and you're missing out."
We're rocking in your face. Why don't you spin that?
Yeah, why don't you spin that? Yeah. But yeah, that's a good song though.
Yeah, good fast one.
The next song is a quieter song. It's called Divine Intervention.
Oh, a little acoustic, perhaps?
A little acoustically driven song, yeah. Which is the one acoustic driven song on the entire album.
It really is.
But the song is about a relationship, or rather the end of a relationship. And this is another one of those songs where he kind of sings strangely.
Yeah.
Or like with more emotion, I guess is a good way to put it. A less negative way to put it. I'm not really a big fan of it. And I think this is another thing that I just don't really like about that emo music, is that it sounds like whiny.
Yeah, but also especially his voice.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of that song. But to each his own. Track number 9 is called Miami. And this is a song about a relationship. However, this time it's about a new relationship. And about how she wants him to be really honest in this new relationship. And it's about how all of his past mistakes are kind of like resurfacing and coming up and like bringing up difficulties in the relationship. Yeah, and the song is basically just about how he doesn't want to be defined by his past mistakes, essentially. And in the chorus, he says like, "Miami, Miami, Miami, every hour on the hour," or something like that. And then one of the lines he says, "You're like, basically, you're just going to have to trust me on this one. Like that person in the past is not who I am now." So I thought that was a pretty good message and like an interesting message. And so that's why it's a recommendation for me.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Plus, it's just
that
really
typically
catchy.
wasn't one of the ones that I liked as much
Really?
on the album, per se.
Anyway, on to track number 10, which is the penultimate track. Unless you're listening to the bonus or the deluxe edition, but I just listened to the regular one.
Yeah, that's all you need.
The track number 10 is called Error: Operator.
This would have been my recommendation.
Oh yeah, it is a really, really good song. Yeah, the beginning with the bass. That beginning is really, really good.
I just love that song.
Yeah. And it's also a song about a relationship. And it's basically about how after a mistake, like a mistake that they made in the relationship is too big to overcome. And they can't go back after that.
We can't go back, can't go back, can't go back, we can't. Yeah, so catchy.
So a very, very simple message, but very catchy.
Yeah.
A lot of their lyrics are pretty simple.
Yeah, they're very, very fairly simple.
On to the last song. That's called "I'll Let You Live." And this song takes a different view on the relationship. and he kind of basically says that he knows that he's the toxic one in most of his relationships, and how he like is saying, "I'll let you live and like break up with you because I'm the toxic one." Essentially,
I recognize
it's
that.
me, not you.
Quite literally in that sense.
Yeah, but that was another slower one.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really my favorite, but
Yeah, mine either.
overall the whole album was pretty good. I'll go to this analogy or metaphor or whatever. Not metaphor. If I had to choose 20 albums to bring with me on a road trip, I probably wouldn't pick this one.
That's fair enough.
But it's still pretty good though.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to it every now and again probably. Or check out, actually what I'll probably do is check out more of their stuff.
I think that's probably a good choice.
Yeah.
We'll be exposed to some other good things.
Yeah.
They can be very good live.
Really? How many times have you seen them?
Only twice. The first time I saw them was at a Warped Tour. And Adam Lazzaro, their lead singer, had like super long hair on a mountain man beard and a big beer belly.
Really?
And he was, I don't know if he was like rolling on the stage at some point, and he just didn't sound super great. But I also they were in Nashville recently, and someone went and said he was pretty drunk and didn't sound good.
Really?
But the last time I saw them in Nashville, they had just recorded their previous album, their most recent one.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get up there, their singer, Adam, he's looking back to his normal self, thank goodness. He said, I know that when you go and see a band and they've got a new album out, everyone groans when they hear like a new song and they just want to hear the old stuff. And I know you're all going to hate this, but we are going to play for you our brand new album front to back because I think we would be doing you a disservice if we did not.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And that sold me on the album.
Nice.
So it was good. They played that and then they went away and then came back and did like another, I don't know, 8 to 9 old songs, which is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Good show. I thought that was a very good show.
Nice.
Shall we switch gears?
Let's switch gears. In fact, let's switch vehicles.
Yeah, let's switch vehicles from a
speeding freight train.
That's kind of like a what's that one car that I'm thinking of? I can't.
A Maserati.
Eclipse? What's that car?
The Mitsubishi Eclipse.
From a Mitsubishi Eclipse to a old beat up Ford.
Or a minivan.
I'm just going by that.
An old Volkswagen bus.
Okay. The National is the band.
Yes.
Trouble Will Find Me
the
album. This was released in 2013, like we said earlier. It's their 6th release, so they're pretty established in their sound. I'm assuming they've recorded quite a bit before.
Yep.
This got them nominated for a Grammy for Best Alternative Album. They didn't win, but on their next album, which I believe is their most recently, it's called Sleep Well Beast.
Yep.
Is that right? They won that Grammy for Best Alternative Album. So
and after I recommended this album for Steve, I listened to that album and I was like, crap, I should have recommended this album.
Yeah, and then you played for me some of those songs off the new album, and I was like, yeah, you should have recommended that. But no, I jest, but I'm serious also. This album was a huge hit critically and commercially. Like, it did well. People loved it. Obviously, it got a Grammy nominee. That's pretty big.
Yep.
Regardless of what you think about the Grammys. It's not... Well, I'll say what my feelings about the album later, but this album is hard to kind of classify them. They're like Americana, adult alternative rock.
Yeah, I would say
easy listening rock, maybe. I don't know what you would call it.
I would say probably Americana, but not in like the folk way.
Yeah, not
like
folky.
in the kind of almost electronic rock in a way. Like their sounds aren't normal, and he doesn't sing in the normal register that you're used to hearing.
He doesn't.
He has a very low voice. And
they don't do big melodies. Like when I think of The National, I think it sounds incomplete because I keep thinking of the national anthem. And I'll tell you one thing they don't have is anthems.
No, they do not.
They're not pop.
They're
not poppy at all.
It's a very contemplative sound.
Yes, and I am going to say contemplative a lot when I review this album. I wrote that down a ton of times.
Okay.
I know how to spell that word very well. At least I hope. But yeah, it's not what I would call catchy.
No.
Even though there are catchy elements.
I think it's catchy.
There are catchy elements, but I would say it's not traditionally mainstream defined as
like
catchy.
Pop. It's not pop catchy.
So having said that, let's dive into the first song, which is called I Should Live in Salt.
I should live and salt for leaving you.
That's correct.
You.
I gave this a rating of 3 out of 5.
Okay.
It's interesting because it's in a weird meter.
Mm-hmm.
So you may look at the whole meter and say it's in 7/4, but it's actually probably like broken
Split
down
up.
into a meter of 3/4 and then one of 4/4.
Yeah.
So if you're listening on, you can't really say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's broken up like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're not really paying attention, it might throw you off a little bit, and then when you listen to it, you're like, oh, this is weird.
Well, you could say 7/4, but it's just
Yeah.
3 plus 4 instead of 4 plus 3.
Yeah, I think the majority of their songs are in 4/4. There's a couple that are in 3/4, some type of triple meter, but this one to have as your first song in a weird meter is kind of an interesting choice. I thought this song was more upbeat than a lot of the songs to come.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they placed it first.
Could be.
It could be, but who knows? Either way, I think it's a good intro to their sound in general. Gets you a little used to the sound of the music and his voice.
Used to his voice, yeah.
Yeah, he sings in
starts
his
off-
lower register a
Well,
lot.
How low does it start? It's like, when I think of you in the city. Blah, blah, blah.
You should know me better than that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, do you know what the song's about?
It seems like it's about a relationship.
It's about a relationship, but not with a lady, which you might be led to think if you listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
More specifically, it's about a falling out that the lead singer Matt had with his brother Tom.
Oh.
I guess, and they've talked about this, so I'm not speculating too much. I think it's been documented that his brother was a little less successful in trying to do a film career and was having some struggles, so they brought him in as like a roadie. And then
really?
things were they had to end up firing him.
Ooh.
And so that's why I should live in salt for leaving you behind. Or whatever.
Leaving you.
Yeah, so that's
Interesting.
what it means. I mean, living in salt could be a biblical reference. Could be like
Yeah.
a salt, like
Like the salt.
to destroy. Like after they burned Sodom and Gomorrah, it was a tower
Yeah,
of
they
pillar of
like-
salt.
And then that one lady turned back and she turned into salt or whatever.
Yeah, so it could be that. Who knows? I don't know how religious they are. It's hard to tell from their music, or how not religious they are.
I don't think they're religious. But
They don't talk about it, so it's hard to say for sure.
Well,
or
they
not.
talk about it in one of these songs, I think.
Maybe that was it. I don't know. I don't remember seeing it. Not to say that I didn't see it. But let's move on, shall we?
We shall.
Let's move on to track number 2, which is called Demons. I also gave this a rating of 3 out of 5.
Nice. I like this song a lot.
Yeah. This is true to their sound again. Mid-tempo, and it drags along a little bit.
There's one part where he jumps the octave.
He
all
does.
the way to a normal register.
He does, because the whole song has a crescendo,
Yeah.
which they do a lot. They start in
Yeah.
the lower register, strip back, and then they build instrumentation, they build volume, and then he'll kind of go a little bit higher into his register.
Yeah.
Not always, but that seems to be, I don't want to say a formula, but it seems to be what he likes to do.
Their general form, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to say formulas for bands because it's not a word that I like to
Attribute to music.
creativeness in music, even though
Yeah, even though
you can say that.
there is definitely a formula.
We all have
Just say
formulas.
structure.
Structure's a
There's
better
general
word,
structure
yeah.
to a song.
This song, I think, is about him keeping like his awkwardness, because he says like awkwardness, or his doubts and insecurities to himself and kind of being sad.
Yeah.
Like the chorus is like telling him he's gonna like take his demons and keep them down or whatever.
So I stay down with my demons.
I
Stay down with my demons.
And he does sing that low until later on.
And then he goes, I stay down with... But before it's like, I stay down with my demons.
He sings so low.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Well, let's move on to a better song.
Okay.
This song is called Don't Swallow the Cap.
Oh, I love that song.
I gave this a rating of 4 out of 5, and it's my honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Um,
There are some good references to bands in here.
there is good references to bands, and I actually quite appreciated that.
Yeah.
It's in the chorus. He says, "Put on Let It Be," the
Yeah.
album by the Beatles, and he also says, or you could put on Nevermind,
Yeah.
which is the Nirvana album that
Nirvana,
you
yeah.
had referenced.
Yep.
But either way, this picks up the speed finally, I think,
Mm-hmm.
from the past songs. Not a fast song, but definitely faster than the other ones. I mean, it still kind of fits their sound a lot. And I'm going to say this later, even though you have a fast song, it's not energetic. None
Yeah.
of their fast songs are
It's
energetic, which is a
very-
strange feel for
Yeah.
me.
And I feel like that's due to his voice almost.
I definitely think it's that.
And it's also due to a lot of the times when he's like singing a melody, he stays on one note for a long time sometimes.
He does. I'm not entirely sure what this song's about. I think it could be about like being sad and alone.
I read it at first whenever I listened to it, I thought it was about drugs.
I don't think it is.
But
there
then
are
I
other songs
read-
that are.
But then I read on, I think it was on Lyric Genius, that it said it was about like being depressed and like trying not to have to take antidepressants.
I can see that.
Like a lot of the situations in like the lyrics in this song are like situations that someone would be in and they'd be like worried about what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So like I think one
there are
of them,
definitely songs to come that have much more explicit drug references,
yeah,
or a little bit more clear than this one.
yeah,
And when I was thinking of like they on Lyric Genius, they talk about the title "Don't Swallow the Cap," and he just said he liked the way that sentence sounded.
really.
He said it doesn't really mean anything. He's like it just sounded good when I was coming up with the words. But he does reference Tennessee Williams, who was a playwright.
Yeah.
From way back in the day, and Tennessee Williams died by swallowing the cap of something and choking on it.
Oh,
like
really?
the cap of like a tube of glue or something like that. It was really odd.
Huh.
But that doesn't mean that that's what he was referencing at all or whatever. But I thought this was a good change of pace song wise.
Yeah, there's like a nice driving bass guitar, like.
But not always are the fastest songs the best, even though I love fastest songs better. Let's slow it down into a better song, shall we?
Ooh,
Track number 4 is called Fireproof, and I gave this 4.5 out of 5.
that's a great song.
It's a really, really good
You're
song.
fireproof.
And this starts off with some
breaks you.
really, I don't want to say angelic, but really pleasant sounding arpeggios. It's like definitely on a guitar, maybe echoed on a piano. It's hard to say for sure if they're doubled or not. I think they are. But it's pretty stripped back in like minor sounding song. Very contemplative.
Very contemplative.
What's he saying about when he talks about fireproof? He's talking, I think, about a relationship and probably about a girl, and talking about how she's fireproof, which means she's like invulnerable, or she's invincible to pain, or she like nothing hurts her.
Yeah.
But it's all a facade. It's all kind of fake. So he's trying to like say that you're fireproof, like nothing
breaks your
nothing
heart.
breaks your heart. You're fireproof. It's just the way you are. So he's kind of saying that like it's a good thing. Well, he's saying it like it's a bad thing actually. I think because he talks about later how it's like crying is like at nighttime and stuff, and how it's kind of like a farce. But one of the last lines in the song is like, "I wish I was that way."
Yeah.
Yeah. And earlier in the song, he talks about how you never tell me your secrets, I've told you all of mine, or something.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of real interesting references to the girl being very emotionally invincible where he's not.
Yeah.
And how that's either a good or bad thing. It's hard. You can interpret it a couple different ways by listening to
Yeah,
the
I
song.
feel like a lot of their songs
open-ended.
Yeah, I think a lot of their songs are like that.
And I think he likes to write that way. Moving on to track number 5. The song's called Sea of Love.
Sea of Love.
I gave this a rating of 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, 3.5.
This seems like it's the most energetic song from the band on this album. It's got that drive, and again a driving song, but it's driven by the drums. Do do go 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 dun 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 dun, and the drums are just constantly hitting on that snare drum.
Yeah.
And it's really driving. It's not my favorite song in the world, but I was having some troubles with my Spotify for a little while, so I was listening to this album on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's a video for this song.
Oh, really?
And it's just them standing in this like kind of like a brick room, or like I don't know what the kind of room was, like an empty bathroom
like an empty
stall
bathroom,
room,
yeah.
like a big empty space. And there's a drummer, and they're just kind of standing at weird angles, and there's a microphone hanging from the ceiling, and then it starts playing, and they start playing along with music. And this little boy walks in wearing a suit, playing air guitar for the whole time, and they go to the song, and then at the end of the song he leaves, and I was like, what a weird video. It doesn't really do anything for me. It just makes me think they're weirdos. And then I found out that they're either like paying homage or doing a recreation, or what's most likely a parody of a music video from this a Russian band. I was about to say Irish, I don't know why. But it's a Russian group, and I'm going to butcher this name. I'm going to say Zvuki Moo. Look at the spelling here and see what you would say. Z-V-U-K? I don't know.
Z-V-U-K-I-M-U?
Yeah.
Zvukmu.
Zvuki-Moo.
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce Russian letters.
Yeah, Russian is difficult. But if you look at the videos side by side, it's
like
pretty
exactly
spot
the
on.
same.
It's hilarious. So that made me appreciate it a heck of a lot more. The song itself, though, I think it's about an unhealthy relationship. I don't really know.
Yeah.
The only real thing that makes me remember this song, other than the music video, is that it has the line "Trouble will find me,"
Yeah.
which is where the title
Will
came from.
find me.
Let's move on to track number 6. This song is called "Heaven Faced."
Heaven faced.
Maybe this is religious. I don't
This
know.
is the religious one, I think.
I didn't really get too much, but
I
I didn't get any religious themes out of this.
Graceless is the religious song.
This song I gave a 3 out of 5. It's slower. Again, it's somber sounding and sad sounding, and it seems to be about relationships, investing in them of some sort, but I don't really know. This song didn't do much for me at all. I kind of zoned out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to number 7. This song is called "This Is the Last Time." It's my next recommendation. I get 4.5 out of 5, and it might be my favorite off of the album.
Nice.
The intro chords kind of make it sound like it's going to be another slow song. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Like it's just those chords by themselves. And I'm like, oh, all right, another slow song. And then he comes in singing, you, da, 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 da. And then he kind of goes through the chorus. And then all of a sudden, this fast drum beat comes in where it's like, doo, ka, doo, doo, ka, doo, doo, ka, doo, doo. And he's doing these cool things on the tom. And I get like a burst of energy myself, even though, as I say, they're not an energetic band. Mm-hmm. But every time those drums come in, I'm like, oh.
It's like a little special treat.
Ooh, it is a special treat.
It's like the Ice Queen just gave you that Turkish candy.
Delight.
Turkish Delight.
You ever had Turkish Delight?
No, isn't it gross?
It's not gross. It's just weird. It's like these weird jelly chews covered in powdered sugar.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just...
Would you like a Turkish Delight?
It's just not that delightful.
Why, yes, Ice Queen, I would like a Turkish Delight.
Turkish Delight.
Oh, wow, these are great. I'll live with you
these
forever
are
in Narnia.
Narnia. Anyways, back to This Is the Last Time.
No,
I think...
Tumnus, you can't have any.
Gosh. Mr. Tumnus. Anyway. I think this song is about a toxic relationship, which is why I keep saying this is the last time.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. The melody is super duper catchy, at least as far as this band goes.
Yeah.
It's not like a wandering melody, you, da, 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 but it's memorable.
Yeah.
Even though it's not like a crazy flowing melody.
I remember now. Yeah. Do. Do, 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 do.
Yeah. However, even though I said this is my favorite song on the album, about 2/3 of the way through, I lose interest because it switches into this weird, like, minor sounding song that switches gears. He starts talking about a girl named Jennifer, Jenny, who he sang about this girl on Fireproof as well. It's not a name that popped up out of nowhere, and I think he just said he likes that name to fit his songs. He said in an interview that he's happily married and has been for a long time. He just likes to write about relationships because, I mean, relationships have ups and downs, so he likes to explore.
Interesting.
Which is
cool.
It's true. But like I said, I kind of lose interest when he changes
he
gears because the chords switch, the melody switches, and the whole song just does a 180.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting because you don't expect it and it's new and different, but I liked the other part a lot. So
yeah.
I just wanted more of that.
Yeah.
That's okay though. Let's move on to track number 8, which is called Graceless.
Yep.
And this is my last recommendation. Okay. I gave this also 4.5 out of 5. It's another fast song, and again, not a high energy song. That's their sound on songs like this. Mm-hmm. Fast, but not high energy. And there's going to be another one that's just kind of fits into that mold again, but I'll talk about that later. This one is about the dark and depressing results of taking drugs and how it's a cycle. So this is the one where he's definitely talking about drugs. I'm going to say a couple lines. I'm definitely taking a line, cutting a couple chunks out, and taking another line. So when I pause, that means I'm skipping a couple sentences just to put these together. Is there a powder to erase this? ... You can't imagine how I hate this. ... I took the medicine and I went missing. Mm-hmm. So those are spread out throughout the song, but graceless.
I think
is there a powder to erase this?
Yeah, I think this song is about religion.
It could be.
Because one of the lines is one line he says is, "I figured out how to be faithless."
He does, but I think it's more about being sad and taking drugs and then being more sad. He's talking about powders to dissolve them and take them. Do they dissolve? I could be wrong, but that's what I really think it's about.
Isn't one of the other lines God loves everybody, don't remind me. Or something like that. He's like, God loves everybody, don't remind me.
It could be. I can't remember that line specifically, though.
It could be about a mixture of both.
It could be. Like, again, his songs are kind of difficult to nail down a
Is
specific.
esoteric the right word?
I don't really know what that. I've heard that word and I don't remember what it means.
It means like not accessible to your average person, I think.
It's accessible, but you can interpret it differently.
Yeah.
They're a little vague,
They're
so you
vague,
can kind of attribute that to what you want it to.
Yeah.
The music video is pretty funny. Did you ever see it?
No.
It's all black and white, and it starts off with them like sleeping at a pool, and then all of a sudden it's just them running around in suits and playing with and drinking beers.
Really?
Yeah, like they go down a slip and slide. They're in a bouncy castle at the very end. At one point in time, they're playing baseball with cans of beer. Like they're like hitting
a
beer
baseball
with not a baseball. They're like throwing a can of beer and hitting it with a bat.
Oh.
Someone's trying to catch it. It's a weird video
Funny.
because this is again a little bit more of an upbeat sounding song.
Yeah.
Even though it's not like the upbeatiest. of
Yeah,
them
and I
all.
think if I remember correctly, the drums kind of drive this song. Like
Yeah, it is a driving song. Let's move into a different song that's not driving.
Okay.
Track number 9 is called Slipped.
Slipped.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
I like this song a lot.
It's another slow, contemplative song.
Yeah.
Slipped is stripped back. It's just sad and there's potentially optimism in it. It's again, you can kind of interpret it different ways. Like he seems to be lamenting a failed relationship, but also might be getting stronger in the point. Like he's talking about, like I won't
In the
spill my
process.
guts.
Yeah,
all
I won't
out.
spill my guts again. Yeah.
So I think he's lamenting but getting stronger.
Yeah, and then he says, doesn't he say like, but I keep coming back to where everything slipped.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, I don't know
But
if
I will not spill my
he's coming back
guts
to a mental
out.
state or coming back to a memory. It's hard to say for sure. Or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on to track number 10. This song is called I Need My Girl. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. And this might be their most popular song
Yeah, I like it.
based on Spotify stream numbers.
Oh.
I don't really know. But it was at the top of their list with lots of plays. This was, again, released as a single. I don't know why I said again. I never said that before. But the singer Matt Berringer said this, and
Any relation
we
to
we
Baron
said
Drams?
that. I don't think so. I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
How we were just saying that his songs are vague and you can say it's about other things.
This
This one
one's
is,
not.
is very specific, and
Yeah.
here's a direct quote from him. He says, I Need My Girl is one of the most direct, earnest love songs we've ever written. I wrote it about missing my wife and daughter. It's pretty simple. It's not about any other thing.
Yeah.
So it's very specific. It's slow, very sentimental.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite song, but I thought that was kind of nice
I
that,
like
that
it.
he wrote it about that.
Yeah. He's just like very, very a central theme, and that's it.
I Need My Girl.
No bells and whistles.
Yeah, there's some references to like specific things in the song,
Mm.
talking about being on tour with the clubbers or whatever he called. There was some word he said for punks or something.
Oh, cannonballers.
Cannonballers and
Punks
something
and
else.
cannonballers.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is this a song where he says, "Remember when you drove the car or the van into the vines,
I think that's what it
and
was.
then you got out and like started apologizing to the vines or something
Yeah.
like that?"
I liked the line where he says, like there are just some things I shouldn't laugh about in front of your family or something.
In front of
like that.
family,
In front
yeah.
of family. All context of not being used to different cultures, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about his wife and daughter.
Cool.
Moving on to track number 11, which is called Humiliation. I gave the song 4 out of 5. I almost thought about recommending it, but I didn't in the end. It's another faster but not energetic song.
Yeah.
But it's relatively catchy for them. It's a major sounding song, but once you hit the chorus, it gets kind of minor,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
Well, it's something a little bit different.
It's
thrown at
different,
ya.
and it kind of makes it interesting. It's short, and you get back to that major sound again.
Yeah.
There's a vocal melody that's like a musical motif, which isn't their thing per se, that comes in the song where he's like, like he does the as
yeah.
while doing that. I don't know if it was a bridge or where he did that, but that was different for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, interesting. They don't seem the kind of band that would do the woes or the ahs or the yas.
Right.
But they do in this song. And
Yeah.
maybe one other spot in another song, but it's few and far between.
Oh. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's hard to say for sure what it's about, but it's not happy. Of course, like he's under the withering
Under
white
the
skies of
again.
humiliation.
Humiliation.
Now let's get to the penultimate track.
Okay.
Pink Rabbits. I gave this 3 out of 5. It's a piano-driven song, a little bit swingy. It's different sounding than the rest in that aspect.
That's definitely different sounding.
But it's about a failed or failing relationship, I think. Again, you just kind of keep wondering, and here's the quote. Am I the one you think about when you're sitting in your
Fainting chair?
fainting chair drinking Pink Rabbits? Pink Rabbit, or as it's sometimes referred to, a pink bunny, is a drink. According to some website I found, it's like I think tequila and Nesquik or something. It's weird.
Ooh.
Like moms drank it or something because they always had
Pink
Nesquik
Rabbit,
for the
as
kids.
in like, okay, interesting.
Moving on to the last track, which is called Hard to Find. I gave this 3.5 out
Very
of
slow
5.
song.
Very slow song. It's very fitting that they close with the slow contemplative sad song.
Yeah.
It's a reminiscent song. He's kind of thinking back of a past relationship, like looking for it, like trying to see the lights, but they're not quite there, or they're far.
Yeah.
He's talking either about a girl or the feeling of love and how it's hard to find. Like he wants to wait for it, but it's going to be hard to find.
Yeah.
Good way to close the album.
For sure.
All in all, it's a good album. I wouldn't really return to it regularly, but I wouldn't be opposed to listening to it.
Yeah.
But I would like to listen to their other stuff.
Yeah. At some point, well, like I've listened to a couple more of their albums, and it's this one was kind of unique in that it was much more contemplative. Like some of their other
just, like,
ones, he still has like a
thematically
low
and lyrically?
voice, but they have like their newer album has like way more like guitar lines and like loud, catchy guitar lines.
And that wasn't very present.
That
on
wasn't
the
very
song.
present at all in this album. So maybe that one will be a repeat eventually.
Okay, I'd be down.
Yeah.
With the sickness, and then in that case, I'd probably recommend at some point in time for a repeat the most recent Taking Back Sunday album.
Yeah,
But
maybe
we'll
we
see.
could do a repeat of
This episode.
the same episode.
Anyways, looking forward to next week. Next week will be episode number 66 with repeating numbers. We have repeating artists.
Different albums,
I
same
think-
artist.
Did we announce last week what we're going to do? I think we did, but I can't remember. But we'll give
don't
you
think
a
we did.
refresher anyways.
Maybe we did.
I told Jesse that he will be listening to the album Chuck by Sum 41
Yep.
because you had initially listened to All Killer No Filler by Sum 41.
Yes. And is Chuck the one that you like better than All Killer No Filler?
Yes. All
Okay.
Killer No Filler is more true to what made them popular, but I think Chuck's better.
Okay. And you will be listening to the album Nothing Is Sound by Switchfoot.
Yeah. And the album you had me listen to them was
Vice
Versus
Versus before, yeah.
So I'm curious about that one. I've been listening to it for a few days now, and I like what I hear. I like what I hear.
He likes what he hears.
It's only now that I've already told you about that album that I'm realizing I should have waited another 22 episodes to recommend this because there's a song on this album called 88. Chuck. But that's okay. We'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let it slide this time, I guess.
Any other final thoughts on your beer?
It's kind of stayed similar as it's gotten warmer. Still very tasty. I like it. It still has that bitterness, that marmalade bitterness has kind of mellowed out a little bit. So as it's gotten warmer, it's blended a lot better. It's not as pronounced as it was before.
Mine seemed to get a little sweeter and a little less citrusy, but the hop is still there.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's still really good.
Nice.
I'd get it again. I'm happy with it.
Nice.
Anything else before we sign off?
I don't think there's any housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Yeah, well,
Housekeeping.
As always, check out our socials. You can look us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or as Jesse would say, Instantgram.
Instantgram.
Just look up American Brews and Tunes. I'm sure you'll find us. Or you can go to our website, brewsandtunespodcast.com. Or send us an email. What's our email address?
American Brews and Tunes at gmail.com.
Easy.
I think.
I always forget that. I always forget to check it too.
I always forget it too because I don't have the login information.
Oh, yeah, I gotta get that to you. But that's for a different time.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's finish our beers real quick.
Sounds good.
As we always say here on American Brews and Tunes, down the hizatch. Good brews. Once again,
Tasty.
my name is Steven Johnson.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is American Brews and Tunes.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity beeby da.